I can hide no longer. I do not want this war. We have suffered enough. Prophecy did not lead us here, nor will it win this battle. Wars are won by those that are willing to sacrifice everything. If that is the cost of vengeance, so be it.
Panic would strike at the base of the 12th base, as what seemed like hundreds of men would start pouring out of this previously undiscovered tunnel. This raiding party would arrive at their base with the full knowledge of what they did to their base just a couple months prior. However, still in shock, the defenders of the 12th base would rush to meet their enemy. This brawl would be extremely ruthless, as the 9 fighters would unleash their full fury after what they did to their people that were now either dead or in captivity. And the 12 fighters would have had months on top of months to practice fighting, especially with their new shiny weapons, especially their lances. While the lances weren't the best, in fact they were pretty bad. Despite that, they were still better than the rocks the 9th was using. Nevertheless, everyone would be taken back at this extremely loud sound that would be coming behind them. Indeed, every single sound in the tunnel would be amplified and echoed. Unbeknownst to the fighters, this sound would actually be the 12's own assault, which would be collapsing their main base from underneath them. And while there was nobody there, this move would completely cut their retreat. These men now were completely stuck, either do or die. Now looking at the 12's raiding party, now that they had collapsed their tunnel and done their job, they would start retreating back from the tunnels. They didn't know there was an assault happening right now. However, as they were walking back, a third explosion would collapse their tunnel. Thankfully for the 12th, they weren't in the vicinity, as this explosion would collapse the tunnel east. A second 9 expedition raiding party would have collapsed this tunnel in hopes of collapsing the roof of the 2nd level. This was extremely hectic. They did not have any time to see after the dust settled if their plan had worked. They just drove straight in there. Their plan gave mixed results. As they dove down into the lower level, they realized that the path was extremely restricted. If the tunnels were cramped before, now only one person could barely fit through the cracks. And remember, there was a 12th raiding party passing through there at this very moment. They immediately rushed to plug this hole. Both sides would start exchanging blows with makeshift spears and stone tools. However, with the restricted nature of what was going on, this completely bogged down the assault of the 9th. Back on top on the 12th base, emboldened seeing their brothers breaching the walls of their captives, would start beating the shit out of their guards. Indeed, there weren't that many guards, there was only a couple. And those weren't guards, there were diplomats. So with a straight punch to their face, they would start booking it back to their brothers, but not after picking up a couple of supplies along the way. And just when things were looking good for the 9 expedition, the 12 expedition raiding party from the lower level will start coming up to their main base and realizing what was going on and join the fight. While both parties enjoyed the reinforcements, if the fight was a close brawl before, right now would be a slam dunk for the 12 expedition. They were simply outnumbering their enemy 2 to 1 at this point. And the 9 expedition, feeling semi-happy with their assault, having their friends back with a couple of supplies, started retreating back from the tunnel they came from, hoping to cut down the front line by maybe a couple men wide. They didn't really understand why their enemies were shouting that they were cut off, but as they retreated more and more, They realized that the tunnel was caved in and they didn't have anywhere else to go. This wasn't a victory for the 12th though, as this constricted tunnel made it extremely hard for the 12th to fight. They were stuck, but it was a stalemate at best. They could hear voices from the other side of the caved in tunnel. Indeed, it was their friends trying to dig them out. In the stalemate of the lower level, both forces peeled off most of their troops, and these troops had realized that their friends were stuck. As time went on, the intensity of the fighting didn't stop. Both forces would be rotating men in and out, and here, slingers became deadly, as hurling extremely fast rocks across a narrow tunnel with no cover really fucked up a couple people. As brutal as this battle was, this was only one fight between these two expeditions. What will happen next? I have no goddamn idea.